market. Joining us right now is Utah Congressman Chris Stewart. He's a member of the Intelligence and Appropriations Committees. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks very much. What do you think comes out of this trip to Saudi?
I don't think it's going to be what the president hopes for. I was in Saudi Arabia a few weeks ago. I had a chance to meet with the Crown Prince, with the defense and foreign ministers, with the Minister of Energy. Here's the deal. This president has demonized the Saudis. He's demonized the Crown Prince personally.
Right.
And now he goes hat in hand, and I don't think they're going to give him what they want. But Maria, what a ridiculous situation to find ourselves in. For heaven's sakes, a seventh grader could tell you that if you shut down U.S. production, like the president did from the very first day he was in office, that we would find ourselves in this situation where we're now dependent on Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, other foreign producers. As these other individuals said, the oil company's executive said just a moment ago, we could do this ourselves. We should be doing this ourselves. We were a net exporter of energy just 18 months ago. This is absurd to find ourselves in this position.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he is arriving, as we're told, John Kirby told Fox yesterday, that an Iran deal is all but done. We're waiting for the go-ahead from the Iranians. So he's meeting with the Saudis, who hate the Iranians and do not want the West to be partnering with Iran. And he's got an Iran deal in his back pocket. So obviously that's going to come up.
Yeah.
And back at home, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that with every one of these leaders that I met with in the region, the first thing they wanted to talk about was Iran. They're deeply concerned about their militias. And it's very clear that that's the first thing on their minds. And it's the least thing that the president can help them with. Seems to be willing to help them with.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Meanwhile, the president writes an op-ed about why he's going. We know why he's going. Back at home, you've got your colleagues on the left trying to push through more spending, Congressman. Senator Joe Manchin apparently dealt a blow to Biden and the Democrats' agenda yesterday when he told Majority Leader Chuck Schumer he will not support a spending package. That includes climate provisions, that includes tax increases on companies or wealthy individuals. Manchin's office then released a statement saying in part this: it's time for leaders to put political agendas aside, reevaluate and adjust to the economic realities the country faces to avoid taking steps that add fuel to the inflation fire. Congress, they keep putting more fuel on the fire with the forgiveness of student debt, with the pushing more taxes. I mean, John Barrasso told me they're talking about $1.5 trillion in new taxes. On what planet are they living that they want to make things even more expensive for American consumers as we pay 40-year high inflation?
Well, once again, this is something that a child could understand. Just like we just talked about with the oil and gas industry, it's very self-evident. So is this. And the inflation that we're seeing, which, by the way, hurts the poorest among us. Look, if you get picked up in a limousine every morning, you don't care about the price of gas. You haven't filled up that limousine in years. And if you're living an affluent life in New York and Washington, D.C., it just doesn't impact you. But if you live out here in the West like I do, and you drive a pickup because you have to use it for your work, this is a painful thing for almost everyone. And they don't understand how painful it is. And they clearly don't understand what causes it. Because as you just said, they want to do more and more. They want to throw more fuel on that flame. And God bless Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema as well, for them having the courage to stand up to their own colleagues and say, this is insane. It makes no sense. Well, it's going to make it much worse.
Well, we know that American consumers are reacting. We'll see what happens in November. In terms of how they vote. Congressman, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here this morning. Congressman Chris Stewart in Utah.